stories. Every single one of us. From the highest of the high to the lowest of the low, we all have stories. Exploring the world for the greatest stories of all time.
Hello and welcome. You're listening to the Aron O'Dowd Show.
The Aron O'Dowd Show. Our soul is the screen upon which we project our dreams. What's your story?
Hello and welcome. On today's show, we have an incredible guest as always. Who would think creating legacy, 9120 enterprise, and creating an ecosystem, an environment where people can be authentic and allow their heart, their soul, and their passion come out. I'd like to welcome Ashkan Tabibnia. Hello, welcome to the show, Ashkan. How are you doing?
No, I just feel fantastic. I'm feeling good, but now with you here, I feel fantastic.
Tell us about the special people that impact you, Ashkan.
Oh, good one, right? Right into it. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I love God. I'm a man of God, and that's good. You know, I believe in Him. And after God, there are two people that they have touched my mind and my heart the most. And those two people are my parents. My father, he's saintly, Mr. Shamseddin, that actually in Persian, his name means son. Shemuel, his middle name, Tabibnia. And, you know, he was a Sufi master. He was born blind and passed, but he had an incredible memory, like I want to say like Google and AI. So there was nothing he wouldn't know. He would all Persian geography, Persian history. He know all the different religions. He know all the different systems of mindset. He know all the different systems of governments. There's nothing he wouldn't know. Like example, I'll give example. In Persia, poetry is a couple thousand years old, and doesn't matter if you open up Rumi that people know about, or Ferdowsi, Hafiz, doesn't matter which area. If you recited any area, he would finish it. That means he know everything verbatim. Incredible. And that was like, so I got my training mindset from him. And then my mother, even though was orphan at 3, she was incredible, towering lady that, you know, was with my father for 6 years, with us. And she was a lady of heart, 100%. So I got both. Yin yang. They were my mentors, or they will be.
Why are they your mentors?
Not because they were my parents, because they lived life not complaining what hand they were dealt. You know, they did the best with what they were given, and they overexceeded what they need to do with it. Like in the case of my father, he was blind, I couldn't see, but he really touched many people. My father in his life, he has never complained one time. Well, he's blind, but he doesn't see me. Wants to see me, right? And my sister and my mother. Never. He was always smiling, happy. And in his lifetime, at the end, he had a lot of health issues. He never complained, why cannot walk anymore? I'm sitting here all day. He never complained when he left Iran at his height of fame. Was like an oligarch, like a general. His friends that he grew up with from childhood, they were men, but they were crying all night when we came to Austria. And when he came to America, his status of Mr. Shamseddin he was just somebody that was blind, and he was judged because, you know, the way sometimes they see people who are handicapped. It didn't bother him. It didn't bother him that he had friends here. He was so strong, towering. And I just learned that in life, there are things that you get and you have a choice and you can do something with it. But there are things that is out of your control. It's how you will become because of those challenges, or actually was it gifts, right? So in the same thing like my mother, orphan, she could have just be upset, worked very hard in an amazing family, and then he married to my father. She had choices. She decided to marry somebody that, you know, is not able to take care of himself, of course. My father never learned Braille, or because he had many friends that would serve him. And my mother loved to take care of him. not served. And then in those 46 years, my mom never let him get a drink of water, just took care of him. And that was my mom. And he was happy doing that. And yes, at the end of both our lives, they both had many, many, many health issues, different kinds, sizes. They both were in bed and couldn't walk, and many, many years. But does not matter, what happened to them. Each one, they only lived for the moment. The moment kept them going, and the moment add up to the next made the hour. Sometimes I give you, this is when my father passed, my mom got Parkinson's at 75. She was able to go around and say, my mom also had her share of health issues, had cancer, beat that. One time she was walking the streets in Iran, fell down, and her knee was completely cut off. So they put her whole leg back together. She had other surgeries, heart surgeries. Here in America, I would see her and I'd say, oh my God, who is this saint lady? How can I learn from her? She would never cry about, physical pain or what she had. And then when my father passed, he was taken care of at the highest level, passed at home, serene. I thought my mom can have a few years of serenity. Immediately got the Parkinson's, as I said. It was so progressive. Within a year, she stopped walking against my wish, because we don't believe in rehab. But in order to prolong her life and the quality of her living, I had to make that very hard decision. We had 3 people serving my parents at home. Why? It's a lesson for people who need to take care of their parents. It's a daunting task, not for everyone. Sometimes they want to do it, and sometimes there's no choice. There's a whole education about people are living, and all of a sudden their parents or their siblings, something happens, and now they have to take care of them. Their life will stop. How do they do it? That's a whole area of education they need to go about. Mindset. What do I do now? But in the case of my mother and my father, I was smart. I had caregivers 24 hours, 2 days, 3 days. So they don't get tired. They get refreshed, and then life would go on. In the case of my mother, I had to make a very difficult decision to put her in a good rehab. And when she stopped moving out completely, I used to go to rehab, my pleasure. It's not because I'm saying, it's not pleasure. She picked me up. She always hugged me. I was so spoiled at 5 years old. She would still had to hug me at 5 years old. Imagine. So I picked her up all those years too. I picked her up, put in my car, bring her to my home every day, and enjoy, with her. And, of course, she was a little bit heavier, so I got hernia. But, the hernia was worth it. I didn't complain. I still picked her up with hernia. Came to a point, unfortunately, COVID. And they told me, you come every day. To me, it was a pleasure. Oh, my God, you go to your mother, you take care of your father. They always tell me, you're such a good boy. It's not true. It was my duty. I don't need to get credit for it. What they did, who they were. But to me, every time I had the opportunity to serve them, to me, was a pleasure. To me, I can't even tell you whether it was hard or not. What a incredible, I want to say ecstasy I felt when I took care of them. It was hard or not, it didn't matter. Or my sister, or etc. That's who we are. And they taught us that mindset, that thing. A lot of people suffered through this challenging times. We actually, as hard it was, I don't say enjoy, but we went for the moment. As I said, they taught us sometimes life, it's very hard for the hour and the day. Take the moment, and the next moment makes the hour. You make the hour, and the hour makes the day. You make the day, and the day makes the week. And you make the week, and it makes the month. And that's how years can go forward. Sometimes when you look at the daunting task in front of you, it's impossible to do. How? That's how you break it down, you go forward. And I want to say, I suffered watching my mom going frozen with the stupid COVID, because they didn't allow me to go see her for a year, because I couldn't go pick her up, massage her. I all had people help. And her hands, her legs were completely locked in a position. She couldn't move. She was hurting. She passed once or twice, came back, beat COVID. She was a strong lady, mindset. And And also one time that we lost her, she was asphyxiated through food because of Parkinson's. The swallowing mechanism was not working. So they put her on NGO, means no food. And I decided, how do I go see her? So, I found the loophole. I got training, and I became I'm just saying, not because of people say Ashkan. So they have a choice what they should do. I became a certified volunteer COVID specialist. So as a volunteer, I was checked to go to this facility that was closed for everyone. Nobody saw their parents, right? It was very horrible times. A lot of people suffered. I got to go. So they gave me a round of patients to go and just spend time as a COVID certified volunteer. One of them was my mom. So, of course, you're kidding? I would turn over the world to see her, right? So I did. So I was enjoying also these other ladies. They gave me 10 patients. So I can go every day, spend time with each, one my mom. And I tell you, my mom at that point was so ill, couldn't move at all. Sometimes they forget, because when somebody cannot eat, it's a rule in America, every 2 hours they have to wet their mouth, with water. They would forget. There are times I would come in and I don't say that people get upset about it. I just want to say who my mom was. I had to work, when I see her, half an hour just to work out the dead skin on her tongue and mouth, and clean and use water. And then, it's okay. And then she saw me, I saw her, I hugged her, it was worth it, right? And my mom told me, I said, Mama, why don't you go to Daddy? Because, you know what, all this pain, her mind was there. I cannot move, my legs are frozen, I cannot even turn over, they forget to come, and it's very, very, very hard. But she didn't complain. But when I see you, oh my God, it's worth it. Right? So I was selfish too. I want to see her too. So I would say, don't go. She could. She left 3 times and came back. Right? And it was very special, and it's very miraculous that Axel Tillman, my partner, told me about a certain white material from a volcano. And so, what did you give this slowly? Make sure they don't know, because she was fully NGO. You couldn't give her anything. She would suffocate. She had the tube from her stomach. Why don't you put a little bit of this white powder on her mouth and try it out? I thought Axel is like, what? What? He's a very good holistic expert. So I said, what do I have to lose? She left 3 times, gonna go 4th. So I did put a little bit of this white powder in her mouth. Kid you not, I have the video of these testimonies, by the way, if anybody wants to see, right? It's very hard, but if they want to see, they can reach out to you. I will show it. Okay. After a few weeks, my mom got strength, and miraculous, like the doctor, head doctor, second doctor, third doctor, I said, I want to sign a waiver that my mom, I think they can start having a little bit of liquid and ice cream. They said, you give it, she's going to pass, because fully NGO cannot throw anything. She passed once because of that. Did I take the chance? So Axel's formula was called Mart Amirolite, I think, something like that. Okay. Worked. And she started swallowing jello water and ice cream. And the doctors would come watch her. It was such a big miracle. And, well, at least she had a little bit of joy of ice cream water every day with me, until that there was a very special holiday, Jewish holiday, that we have the highest level of happiness, highest. And my mom, known to be the happiest person alive, right? On that day, I saw her without telling me. I got a call. It was February 30th, 2022, I think, or 21. 2 a.m. She passed in her sleep. Happy, complete. Thank you for asking. I know it was a longer kind of a explanation, but it's needed, because I gave a little bit just to get an idea of this towering people that you asked me, why they were, not because they were our parents, they were as a parents, who they were, what they represented, how they dealt with the things that have choice and the things they don't have a choice, what they with it, and how made a wholesome life together. And they left, and they didn't leave I'm here because of those teachings, not just because of my parents, what they taught me.
You know, Ashkan, there's one thing I see in interacting with in different meetings, that you've this huge heart when someone comes to you like, I need to help, I'll figure out how to do it, I'll get you here and there. Where do you think that comes from?
My mother. Easy? This was a shorter answer.
Yeah.
Absolutely her. She instilled that in me. Like, I don't even think about it. To me, it's not even not, like if I don't, I feel bad. Not because I do.
Ashkan, you know, you're an architect of legacy. Is that something back to your parents again, or is that something you envisioned to bring other people like you in a space?
These questions are very good because they didn't ask me, so they don't know. Yes. I have done few things in my life, corporate, foundations, entrepreneurship, etc. And I always would ask myself, it's a big thing that everybody, whether teenagers or we're older, doesn't matter, entrepreneur, corporate, we always ask, why am I here? Who am I? What is my mission? What is my passion? Right? So we can know. And sometimes we don't have that choice. Sometimes when we have a choice, we can do, right? And complete that and go forward. And it's really joyful. And I would ask, because I had some of those opportunities. I was given opportunity to do very early on, like 12 years old, read Think and Grow Rich, I think, and creative visualization. Who am I? What am I? What am I good at? What's my innate abilities? What are my skills that I've acquired through my choice? And what are the skills or talents that I've acquired through challenges early on, right? So I was lucky, one of the lucky, right? But some people not. But how do we balance it? By asking ourselves, doesn't matter where in life, what status, what money or no money, or we have or not, is how do I live a life of legacy? A lot of people want to pass, they write things and they want it, no, why are you here? How do we do that? Right? How do we live that life? And big question. My parents, when I remember them, they didn't wait for me to talk about them today so you guys hear and get inspired or moved by them, despite their challenge and limitation. I learned that they were a living legacy. They live life as they should, walking, living legacy. So when I decided to create Untitled Enterprise, which is a business community conscious around, corporate entrepreneurs and foundations, said, who do I want to be? Dr. Nader is the one that kind of worked out all my titles. And she came up with this legacy architect, not, I've centered skills like you have, but because I was lucky enough to be at the presence of my parents most of my life, we're such a close family, always together. Even when I get married, they were next to me every day. I witness these towering living legacies. So by witnessing, learning, watching, doing together, now it became natural to me how to create or architect legacy living for people, even is themselves, is it part of their business, foundation, their mission, vision. How do I do that? It's like became to me innate. And I just do it with my eyes closed. Could be a moment in their life. Could be a book they wrote that they didn't know what that book did. It could be themselves. They did something that is so wonderful that they have never thought about what amazing impact on others, or the person they became through the challenge, or the partnership they did, or the network they created, or the whatever they did. My job is I see objectively, quickly, and I could see the legacy portion of the life that they have, and I bring it out, and I just, sometimes I put spotlight on it. I don't need to do anything. I just said, this is what you did or are, and we need to spotlight and make you aware, that this is legacy. This is your area of legacy. You don't need to pass to write on your tomb for people who don't know. And sometimes corporate people, they don't have an opportunity like entrepreneurs to really be themselves and follow their heart and be artists. They don't have that opportunity. So they make money, they're successful. So they have this hunger inside. Why am I here? And they sometimes 40s, 50s, 60s, that's why they did this. They made these amazing decisions, middle life crisis, not middle life crisis, just middle life. They found out, oh my God, I'm here, I make a lot of money, I have the status, but I didn't leave. I didn't do what I'm here for, my mission. And that's okay. We help them. And that could be their legacy. Legacy could be anything that they do because they're good at, or they have sacrificed for, or they have paid for, or they have learned towards, or they want to teach about, right? And most important thing is, this is the secret. They do not want to keep that secret or whatever hidden. Whether they get paid for it or not, they want to share that, their unique gift from God or whatever they went through or they did with others. As they do that, that becomes the legacy. If they don't share, they keep it at home, they don't talk about it on podcasts, whatever. What kind of legacy is this? Legacy is something that you have reached, achieved, or sometimes surrender. Not always you have to achieve it. Sometimes the best thing to surrender, let go. Whatever that is, when you teach, show by living example to others, and they can have opportunity to learn and apply that to their life, you taught them your legacy in different areas of life, business, or just existing. These are some of the ideas that was instilled in me with mostly my parents, and of course, I had a share of my many, many good mentors.
A mentor is a word we throw around. What's your internal dialogue or internal inclination of what a mentor has for you in the word term and the impact?
Mentor to me is somebody who have achieved mastery in their area of expertise. Means they did their work, internal and external, and they have achieved the level that now they are what they want to mentor me about. They're a living example of what is it they want to teach me. To me, that's a mentor. Because you're with them, you're getting mentored. They don't need to coach you or bring out, and it's okay to have a coach. I want to do basketball. Specific, you hire a coach to teach you. Now, but life is very, very special. And when you have a mentor, you have to be very careful. The mentor, they have to be a living testament of what they teach you. And they don't need to teach you at the same time because they're living it. I had my parents and, oh my God, Steve Jennings and many, many. I could give you like 30 names. That sometimes mentorship is not hours and days and go on seminars. Sometimes the person comes to your life, they're so caring, they get to know you, and they will give you mentorship 3 minutes, 1 hour, one experience, and that's timeless. They are your mentor too. So mentors could not be somebody who's just been with you years, that's my mentor. No, mentors are people who have lived that, all the challenge or whatever they have acquired, and it's part of who they are, and they're living it, and they can teach you sometimes in 3 minutes, 1 hour, 1 week. So there's no limitation of how they are your mentors. So thank you. That's a big question. True, authentic mentors are the ones that, first of all, they take time to get to know you. They care, right? Who you are. What is it that you are thirsty to know or learn or about? And after they put the time, then when they see, oh wow, they have the gift for you by just living right next to you, with you, and of course they tell you, they instill that value in you without teaching you. It's experience. Something, the most important, when you experience it with them. When you experience it with them, you don't need to worry about writing it, what happened, do I remember, what's the sequence. When you experience it with them, also becomes part of you. So the big word is experience it with a mentor. Don't learn, but apply. If you don't understand, call him back, apply. And, now it's part of you. You don't need to remember anymore. Again, these are very, very delicate and intense, deep questions, and I really appreciate it.
No worries. And what is the gift that you are here to do, the mission that you're here to do?
Oh, question I ask everyone. Number one, serve others, but not very in a way that is so grand. In a way I was taught by my parents and my mentors and who I am and what's, my area of expertise, to share my gifts, innate and challenges that I learn as skills, so other people don't have to go through some of the areas I went through. And in this case, because I know how to showcase people, who they are, what they do, what they want, for me it becomes a job. It's a pleasure. And when I do it, I get more excited, I get more energy, I don't get deflated. So that's one. Number two, my family. It's not like 1, 2, because first is personal to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, I love my wife and my kids, and I want them to have a good life, good future. So I want to do my job for them also at the same time. And 3, again, not in an order, I want to create impact to people who are close to me, friends, colleagues, partners, with them first. And then if I can create some impact with my people who are, in my different social networks, and maybe, do I want to change the world? I don't know. I like to, the way I told you, myself, my family, some of my friends are very small, private business community. That's how I like to impact. And these are the things I like to do. Yes, I do like music. I like Rocky. I am a black belt in Aikido. I enjoy martial art. I have many things I enjoy. But at the end of the day, when you ask me, what's the one thing? Serving. Whether it's my wife or God or my friend or a new person, no matter who. If I can, by the way. Sometimes you can, it goes 2 ends. The person that you want to give the service to, they also have to be recipient, and they have to be open. And, it's not just about charging or not, it's just about being. If all those things are, I give you an example. I was introduced to Schmidt family, Schmidt, Aaron and Brady, just about 2 weeks ago by a wonderful new colleague and I want to say Renaissance lady named Charis Mikkelsen, goddaughter of Robert Burns, they said, godfather. She's so celebrated. She's the celebrity fashion and beauty in the world. Books she had written about these areas. She's a journalist. She's a columnist. She writes editorial. She's a model. She's a coach, and on and on. I had the pleasure of meeting her, working together, and she introduced to me Schmidt family. Schmidt family gave me opportunity to be the best of myself, to serve them in my area of abilities, strategy, legacy, and so. Just because of the way they were, right? It's not just me I want to serve. By being present, open and receptive, allow me to do what I like, what you asked. My ultimate, probably one of the families that I was able to serve at my 100% without any limitation. And, it was Sunday when they came in. We did our second session. It was drenching. It was a hurricane in Los Angeles. They still came with their amazing daughter, Maya, that my daughter is Maya. So I just want to give you that example. My wife called me, when you want to come home, do you know that you cannot come home? There's a hurricane and there's a flood in the streets. I wasn't here. I was like in a realm after working with them because they allowed me. right? That's where your question lies. I was that Ashkan that was able to serve at the level I like with my expertise. And boy, when I went to the street and I saw the rain, of course, I came back. I want to say it was a realm that I don't know how to tell you, but that's where I like to be. That's where I like to be most of the time, when I like to serve people, if I can. Because that joy, of course, when I got married to my wife, my kids, that's all given, okay? But as far as personal, oh my God, that's where I like to be. Do I say all the time? When I get a chance? Because nothing for me could be equal how I feel when I'm able to give my best to somebody of my abilities, the gifts that they are able to receive. And I don't know everything, just my area of expertise. So that I gave you that experience. So, I had that opportunity and they were like thanking me. I said, what? Let me thank you. You allowed me to be the best version of Ashkan in these few hours. And that is where I like to be if I get an opportunity all the time.
Ashkan, before we began, you started telling me a story about how you wear your dad's watch and its rosary beads.
Thank you for asking. I'm wearing, so his watch every February, because he passed on February 16th at 11:17 a.m. In our 9-to-1 Enterprise first launch, I also talked about him with Natalie. And so I just opened his watch right now, just so you know. Mm-hmm. And I'm showing it in your podcast. So yeah, I have the watch on and it opens up because you need to touch to know what time it is. Mm-hmm. And then I just closed it. What else I'm wearing? I'm also wearing his beads, the Persian beads that when he couldn't move or nothing, the only thing that kept him was like these beats that he played one beat at a time, So I have that on too. And thank you. Like, why do I wear it? First of all, it's the closest thing physically that I have from my father. Even though he's not here, he has instilled in me his knowledge and all training, but he's not here in physical. And sometimes, it's okay. It's nice to hug somebody. I cannot do that anymore. So I miss him by wearing his watch on my hand and the beads. It's like what's the word? It's like very soothing, very comforting, very like I feel it's with me. So I wear it from February 1st every year. This is the 7th he birthed or passed. And he's with me especially because of how the watch is. When I open the watch for people, they ask me, why the watch open as you have experience with this? So, well, that was my father's. So I'd be able, because they see I open it, they ask me what happened, why this opens up. Then I have a conversation. It opens up conversation. I don't want to talk about mine all the time, but just because of the watch, yes, it creates a conversation so I can tell about my father to person or whoever sees the watch opens up. And I open it up all the time, by the way, because I just open up, it's like a habit. I just open, close. And every day there are a few people that are just short. I tell about, that's my father, that's my father was, and that's why I'm doing it. So it's just nice to not just tell his story, because we can tell the story, but the effect that he has on me again and again, and others that hear it. So thank you for asking about these particular items that I'm wearing. As you can see, I'm very happy about it. I'm not sad about it.
No. Ashkan, before we finish, is there anything else you want to share? Inspiring, knowledgeable, where we can find you all? Something that...
Yeah. I want to be respectful to today's topic because it was very personal, it was very family type that I didn't practice. I wasn't You didn't send me any questions. It was a conversation, authentic. And I didn't want to talk about anything, that we usually do about life, mindset, leadership. I just want to keep it very clean, family, warm, just to showcase my parents and, a little bit about myself. And thank you for that. I'm still going to keep that mindset. Maybe another time we do specific, we can talk about leadership. We can talk about whatever we want, connections, relationships.
Yes.
I'm not good at all topics, but I'm pretty good in some topics, and, I can add value. That being said, we don't finish. Just to put this in perspective, I want to declare or create a statement for people who are watching this, not because I'm speaking, because you created could be called podcast. Okay, so we get on or we hear podcast interviews all the time. It's not a challenge. I want to invite people. And then what? Right? So I want to suggest people who are going to watch this, could be 1,000. I really care about the 1% that is really listening right now. Don't hold back because of the challenges or the people or the fear or the doubts or whatever else, what you really want to do for yourself and for your business or services. Nobody knows better than you yourself who you are, why you are here, why you are placed in this earth, what is best for you, right? And that's very subjective, objective. Nobody knows better than you what are your innate gifts and skills that God has given you. Nobody knows better than you for your business, organization, or foundation. What would be next? Nobody knows better than you what you offer as a service, because everyone says service and product. People forget when people offer, like you're offering today, this podcast, people offer their essence. People offer their lifetime experience. Sometimes they do it because it feels good. They want to help people. They want to change people. Sometimes they want to get money for it. Either way is fine. No one knows better than you, right? Of course, I'm God. And of course, if you're not sure, you need to do self-reflection, inward discovery, not outside, not objective. And you can do that by reading books, talking to experts in this area. It's a self-discovery. And doesn't matter if you're a master or guru, it continues forever. And then when you are in that realm and you have an idea what is good for you, what is good for your future, what is good for your business, what you offer, then you know when to hire, or sometimes we don't hire, get a coach or an expert or a master to tell you what to do in that specific area for yourself or your business or your service or what is it that you need. But don't tell people that sometimes they don't even know themselves to tell them who you are, what is best for you, what is best for your family, what is best for your business, what is best for us. Nobody knows better than you. The only thing you need to do is like step back, sometimes slow down, and don't do it. Take a sabbatical, take a Sunday off, turn off your phone for 12 hours, really, and get a book and journal and ask yourself a question. Yourself, whatever that you need or you want, you ask the question. And guess what? Universe, through yourself, will bring you about reflections. And you start journaling. It's very important to do this. And when you have an idea or then absolutely we need to go out and hire or collaborate, strategize, align with people who are the expert or the master of that area. Podcast, you want to make a film, you want to become a personal coach. That's the time that you go find the person who has done the work, remember, and has become a mentor. And then they can mentor you in that area. And at the end of the day, you know what they're doing? They're not mentoring you. They're just sharing their essence of who they have become despite the challenges. And that's really the bottom line. So when they ask me, Ashkan, what are you doing with as an architect, as a legacy architect? I don't tell people to change. I don't people to, I see who they are, their past, who they are right now, what's the inventory of, what's going on the table, their organization, and the things they offer. And we always, in this life, we always need to grow. We not grow, we're not growing. You need to grow in every area. If you're not growing. Actually, you're going worse, the other way. So you have opportunity to know which areas your organization, what you offer or what you need, you have done too much of. So sometimes we need to not create anymore. We need to not stop. We need to actually slow down and actually go back or retract. And some areas we need to expand. It's really like a breath. One in, one out. Now we can get excited and do 3 inhale, but I promise you, you cannot do the 4th or 5th inhale. Because we have a choice. I have a choice. I inhale 1, I inhale 2, I inhale 3. But if you don't exhale, like the way it's supposed to be, like a wave, running and returning, nature will force you to exhale. So isn't it better also in our business, in our personal life? Also, if you are in charge of other people's lives as consultants, coaches, to create a way of giving and receiving, in and out, running and returning. So sometimes we have the secret. It's okay. We don't need to give to receive. It's okay to give and not to receive, right? I'm talking about money. Because sometimes when you have the secret and you change somebody's life and maybe they cannot afford to pay you, you give. I'm talking about a breath. And you don't receive. You know what happens? That's where you have a choice to go beyond nature. When you give and you don't want anything in return. See, this universe has a law, cause and effect. But you choose as a creator. You have the gift. You give and you don't want anything. That's where you enter the realm of divinity in this world. And it's very nice. People should try it. Like you're doing it today.
Ashkan, I want to say thank you so much. It's an honor of having you on the show, and I've enjoyed every moment.
My honor.
Last.
I dedicate this for people who know that also you are very insightful. That's what the word I want to use. Like my father, people say, he did not see. Really? As you heard this before, my first lesson with my father, in my 20s, I closed my eyes and my father said, what do you see? He didn't see anything in his life. So it was like my father said, I'm so sorry, I see darkness like you have seen all your life. He goes, number 1 lesson. When you open your eyes, you see. Because you see something, you cannot see everything else. So you're limited to your vision, your vision. So I want to teach you sight. When you close your eyes, now you can see everything. Because you don't see anything, now you can see everything. So I want to finish with that and dedicate this to if I may, to my father, Mr. Ashkan Tabibnia, his honor, and you, a living legacy of my father. If I may share for people that you also have limited, through your sight also. So it's like,